What is up, audio warriors, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to answer one of the most common questions I get when it comes to handstands, and that is how much core strength do you need to be able to perform the handstand? It's a good question. It's a fair question. When you look at the handstand, you look at somebody performing it, you think, okay, cool, there's got to be some form of strength involved in this movement. So let me give you a very quick and simple test that you can do to discover if you have enough core strength. All you're gonna do is stand up. Okay, done that, cool. Did you manage to stand up in a straight line? Or did you just stand up and then immediately crumple to the floor? If you can stand in a straight line, then you can do a handstand in a straight line. The core strength actually is much the same in both of these instances. The main thing that changes is the strength of our foundation. So when it comes to the handstand, we then need to think more about how do we better build our foundation rather than doing endless sets of hollow body work, which to be honest, isn't gonna do much for your handstand. When we're standing up, the thing that gives us our main base of structure, our solid stable base, is the glutes and the lower back. Obviously, there's lots of other things to involve, but when we're talking about the major muscle groups that are gonna assist with our stability standing up, those two are probably the key. So when we flip ourselves up into handstand, we now need to consider the shoulders as the hips if we're standing. And what becomes the glute of the upper body? Well, that's the traps. The traps are the handstand muscle. They are the thing that creates the stability and the strength in the shoulders for not only the handstand, but anything else that you end up going down in the future, whether that's advanced two-arm shapes, press to handstand, or the one-arm handstand itself. Just in the same way as if you want to develop great lower body strength, you need to have good, strong hamstrings and glutes, lower back. For the handstand, you need to have good, strong traps. So how do we fix this issue? Well, to be honest with you, it's quite easy. We just do more handstands. This isn't obviously the only way. I'm going to show you a couple more things, but essentially when people and beginners start out and they have this issue of they're feeling like a lack of core control or a lack of core tension, usually it's just that you're new to handstands, and although you may be strong with some pull-ups and push-ups and etc., you're not necessarily strong in relation to handstands, which is that specific trap overhead position. Just doing handstands, doing more of them, getting longer hold times is going to help massively improving your shoulder strength and stability for more handstands. If you want a more specific answer, then we need to train the traps in a more extreme range of motion. And this would be doing something like the tuck handstand. There is that phrase, tuck so you don't suck. It is very true. If you want stronger shoulders, you need to start learning how to bring weight outside of your center line. This is the basis of the press, of any more advanced two-arm stuff. But the tuck is the kind of basic version of this. Now I've got your back here because I do have a full tuck tutorial, so I'll link that one down below. But what I would suggest doing is just adding like 2 to 4 sets at the end of your handstand sessions, probably 3 or 4 times a week, of some tuck work. You can consider this your strength training for handstands. Handstands itself, practicing the balance is the skill. The tuck handstand or variations of that becomes your strength work to support the skill. So this answer is, I would say, pretty true, but it also doesn't consider the whole picture. There's a couple of things that change when we are on our hands compared to standing up that will make things harder and maybe require a little bit more core strength. Number one is that usually a majority of your weight is going to be held in your lower limbs versus your upper body. That means that when we're standing, our center of mass is going to be considerably lower than when we're standing on our hands. Also, because when we're standing on our hands, we add additionally that arm length onto our height. So again, it's gonna raise that center of mass up quite a lot. That's gonna make us more unstable and is gonna put more pressure on the core because of just your basic levers. This does change things at the end of the day, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your core is the thing that is responsible for controlling that. Most of this will be handled through the shoulders and then also the fingers. The second thing to mention is more about body tension. So this doesn't necessarily equate to core strength. It more equates to how we create tension over the entire body in that stationary handstand position. And we can compare this slightly to standing. I'm going to try and figure out how exactly I can explain this one. If we're standing, our balancing component that we have is we have tension created over the back of the body, so over that lower back, glutes, hamstrings, etc. And then we have the lever of the foot. In the sense of handstands, this is what we're comparing. And we flip ourselves upside down. Our hand takes the role of the foot, but we still need to create that same tension over the side of the body. So when we're standing, it's the back side of the body. When we're in handstand, it is actually the front side of the body. And this is the thing that trips a lot of people up when they're trying to learn how to handstand, especially get a straight line. Creating tension over the front of the body is one of those things that really helps improve the stability and the strength of your handstand. Now, this doesn't mean being tight in the core and being strong in the core. Doing leg raises, doing hollow body work isn't going to help with this. This one comes from the shoulders, getting the shoulders in the correct position, and then bringing a slight tension over the front of the body. The two cues that I like to think of when I'm talking about this is number one, pulling the sternum in, pulling the rib cage in, trying to close that angle. And then number two is trying to pull the belly button in. So this isn't about having a tight core or a strong and tense core. This is simply about creating a slight tension through the TVA, the transverse abdominis, which will help stabilize the midline. If we fail to do this, we end up with that usual looking banana hands in which we're using our shoulders as a stopping point. I'm not entirely sure that this one is 100% mechanically accurate, but in my head, when it comes to communicating the difference between straight handstand and banana handstand, this analogy makes the most sense to me. So yeah, do you need core strength for handstand? The answer is no. Not really. You need stronger shoulders. I know we kind of got a little bit off topic towards the end there, but for those of you who are interested in handstand, I'm sure you probably got something out of that. But obviously, that is just my opinion. I would love to hear your opinion on this one. Do you think core strength is important for handstand? I'm not saying it's completely irrelevant. I'm just gonna say that if you're gonna spend time training and building stronger shoulders is gonna give you significantly more progress than training hollow body in your core and all of that sort of stuff. While you're down there, you can also hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. Right next to it is also that subscribe button if you want to join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe and don't miss out on any more future videos, whether that's follow alongs, handstand, strength, flexibility, all of that good stuff. But that's basically been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week and peace.